everyone, and welcome to a brand new series. Minecraft isn't typically something you see on game dev channels, but this isn't a typical Minecraft series. I will create a large amusement park of sorts with lots of mini games and rides using command blocks to design a wonderful experience. I am by no means a great builder, but I hope this project can improve my skills. I already have some pretty good knowledge of command blocks and minigame creation, so I don't need to learn much more about that. I haven't really done much planning other than some ideas for games, so this park will go through many changes over time. What you're seeing right now could be completely different by the time this park is done. I'm using World Edit to make things go a lot faster, but as I'm sure you've noticed, I'm not very proficient in it yet. One thing I really want for this map is a currency of sorts. I will be publishing this if I ever complete it, which is dependent on how well these videos do. And while the mini-games will be fun to play, especially with friends, they won't have much of a purpose. That's why I'll be creating tokens. When you win mini-games, you get tokens, and you can use said tokens to unlock rides, particle trails, and maybe some other random things. Most of the mini-games should be able to be played by yourself, but some will require multiple players. If there is demand for it, I will try to do some testing sessions on my Discord server every so often, so we can see if the multiplayer games work. I should probably explain what I'm making here. This is the parking lot, which doesn't serve a purpose other than to give a sense of realism to the park. When designing the car, I had to come up with something that would fit in a 3x5 space but still look like a car. It was a challenge, and it isn't perfect, but it was something simple enough to copy and paste and change a few colors. Next, I started working on the terrain surrounding the parking lot. Just looking at an endless flat world isn't very exciting, so I wanted to put some hills to block the vision of the ugly infinite grass. I used a World Edit spear brush and sand to create some basic shapes of hills, and smoothed it out with a smoothing brush. Then to finish, I painted on some grass and rocks, and I think it turned out okay. It's not amazing terraforming, but for my first time, it's not bad. Then I made a little tunnel as the only connection to the outside world. I needed to start working on an entrance to the park. I created this little pathway with some bushes and trees. I've never really tried custom trees before, but I like them. Whenever you enter an amusement park, what's the first thing you have to do? Security. I started making a little security checkpoint with 4 working turnstiles. I used command blocks to break the iron bar when you walk up to it and replace it as you walk past it. It also plays a little ding sound because ding sounds are nice. The entrance was really tricky for me to get right. I made this weird bridge thing and decided it looked really bad, so I tore it down and started again. A whole hour wasted. I decided to go for having 2 towers on either side of the path with a bridge connecting them. When recording this, I accidentally paused the recording for a really long time, so you see a massive time skip. I'm sorry about that. So I've been messing around with the command blocks needed for the currency system called tokens. And it's really actually not that hard. I've never really used scoreboards before, but they're pretty intuitive. Basically, they act as a system of storing variables, as in like integer or something like that. And that's very helpful for things like a currency, or certain mini games might use these. But it's fairly simple. It's simply setting up a scoreboard. An injective is basically what the variable is, and the variable is called tokens. This is the display name, and a dummy is just a simple number. I add 0 to kind of set it up and enable it. So I add this players, all players get 0 tokens, and it kind of sets up a scoreboard over here. And this sets up the display, which is this in the right side of the screen that you see in a lot of servers. It's the sidebar, and it just shows all the tokens. So this simply just removes it entirely, and this adds 1 token. This number is the amount I'm adding. So if I were to set it up, you can see it over there on the right. It says I have 0 tokens. If I add a token, I can just keep pressing this button and get a bunch of tokens, and I can remove the scoreboard entirely. It doesn't do anything anymore, but I can reset it and do all this. So it's actually really simple. I'm probably gonna make a separate building to like store certain things in command blocks because that's kind of fun. And yeah, just cut to another time lapse. This cool fountain uses particles, and it's actually very simple, and that building is what controls these. This just uses an invisible armor stand and a particle effect using the execute command, and it just launches a little splash particle upwards. This building over here is what controls all that. I titled it plumbing. Technically it is. and it has a somewhat decent interior. I'm not the best interior designer in Minecraft. This is, I think, supposed to be a boiler room, kind of. Pipes, smoke, stuff. This command is what controls the particles, so if we were to go down here, we can see it takes every armor stand, or anything named fountain actually, and it just runs the particle command at their feet and does a splash upwards with some fancy numbers. And this button, this is really cool. I was trying to come up with this, so it's a lot easier to make these things so I don't use a command later on. I just press this button, it gives me a fountain spawn egg, and I can go anywhere with it, and like plop it down and bang. You just saw me build a Foursquare arena for the first minigame of this entire amusement park. I have made Foursquare before in Bedrock Edition, so this will be a little different for me, and I'm trying to make it a little better. But if you don't know what Foursquare is, essentially players or player will stand in one of these squares or corners, and this will randomly select a corner, and whoever's in this corner will then die. And you try and last as long as possible. It's just a randomly generated game. It's all luck-based, pretty much. I'm also going to try to fit all the command blocks in here, in this area back here, and that shouldn't be too hard. I mean, the game itself could probably fit in this little section here, and then these are the frames that will go on the screen. The screen is like 5 by 5, so when it picks the color, one of these will be cloned up there. I actually just realized I have to rotate them the correct direction, huh? Alright, so I'm gonna fix that real fast, but these will be also like a countdown, like a 3, 2, 1, then it picks it. But I'm gonna fix these and also just get started on the programming, and I'll get back when I have some coding done. So to get things started, I've made this little starting area that will eventually be more decorated and built up around it, but this is the area that players will go and stand. The floor doesn't mean anything, it's just a representation of the game. And there's going to be a little queue line that you don't actually really have to go through. It's just there for decoration to make it more like a theme park. And this is where players will start, and this is how the game starts. I think I'm going to have a button right here that you press. Or maybe over here. I might do the button here. And you press it, and every player inside of this area will get a tag, and we'll teleport it up here to the center. And then, yeah, I think that's pretty much it. I haven't actually done any other programming in here, but I have fixed the direction of the little frames. So I'm ready to get started on this programming. So I just finished setting up all of these command blocks. It took a decent amount of time, and I think the game is basically done, other than like adding tokens. Basically, I can go through and explain this. So when a redstone block is placed here, which happens when you press a button out there, it gets removed and it triggers this, which gives tags to every single player that's in that outside area. It teleports them to that block up there. There's a title that pops up that says pick a corner, and then the game starts, which just basically puts a redstone block right here. This removes it, and it starts the 1 second or 3 second countdown. So 10 ticks is 1 second. So this is 4, 4, and 2, 1 second. 3 pops up, 2 pops up, and then 1 pops up, and there's plain little noises. That's what this command block is. And then it picks a random color using this command block, which a random armor or entity at all with the name Foursquare color. So all these armor stands are named with Foursquare color. And also plays a goat horn sound. And when one of these is picked, it sets the block beneath it to a redstone block, which triggers this. So it clones the color, it will then kill all the people in that area, and then it resets this block back to what it was. So I have not tested this at all, and I'm about to test it for the first time. I doubt it will work, but we'll find out, won't we? So players will enter the area. It didn't work. Also, I don't know why that happened. So it turns out I already have the tag Foursquare, and I had some command blocks set to conditional. So I'm just gonna do tag remove Foursquare. And now if I press this, okay, so I need to actually increase the Y level by 1, huh? Did it still mess up the weird, why is it at 1? Should have cloned a color. Strange. I honestly have no clue what's wrong. But I'm gonna increase the teleportation by 1 and figure out the others. So I think I figured out what the issue was. It turns out in the latest version, or whenever this came out, @R no longer means random entity, instead means random player. So when I was trying to get armor stands with the name Foursquare color, @R wasn't actually targeting them. So I have to change it to @E and then use sort random, so it picks a random one and the limit to 1. So it only picks one random armor stand with the name Foursquare color. So I actually haven't tested this yet either. So I'm gonna see if this works. And I hope it does. Well, I think it does work, because I just died and I no longer have my speed effect and it feels so slow. If that works, I'm gonna have set the spawn point to like there or something. That works, and it picked green. I think I actually need to do a thing. Oh gosh, it feels so slow. So I've done the 2 things I said I would do, and I'm gonna try it again. All the blocks are gonna be there, okay. Okay, I survived. I haven't actually done all the adding token stuff yet, but I'm going to. Alright, I think I might have it this time. Let's find out. That is an issue. I'm gonna go fix that. I see. Oh, that's why, because this redstone block is triggering this immediately. Alright, this is a very, very messy game, and it's not even done yet. I still have more command blocks left to add. I'm probably gonna send down the middle here. I mean, look at all this. And I haven't even really talked with these observers here. I haven't even done anything with them yet. I'm going to, but let's just test this. Alright. I survived. The goat horn sound isn't playing. Whenever it's better to stand in the middle, I'm sure I die, right? Oh, I don't. I should, because it's in 4. And the game just infinitely goes, huh? I need to stop it somehow. I have figured it out. Essentially, I just had to check if an entity with the tag Foursquare exists. And if it doesn't, it won't continue the loop. Well, I think the game is basically done now. It gives tokens. At least it should. Yep, there it goes. The token goes up. Added in the light changing things and changed the ranges. So I actually haven't tested the ranges or the lights. So. Oh, that looks so good. I think I might remove the last one, actually. I'm gonna stand in the middle here. And that should kill me. Alright, so standing in the middle no longer lets you do anything, and it shouldn't continue. Yep, okay. Everything works properly. I'm gonna go remove the last light flash. The grindstone. I just did random blocks. There's sponge, lodestone, and crying obsidian. I don't know why I did those blocks. They just were the first things that came to my head. That's the game complete, pretty much. You get tokens. You can play with your friends to see who lasts the longest. You can get tokens from it. It's a really easy way to get tokens, so I'm gonna probably have to, like, because you can just keep playing all those. I'm going to have to probably have some pretty high price stuff, because like you can get, if I like price teleporters at 15, you can get them all within like 20 minutes probably. Anyway, that's the game done. I should probably get to decorating, so let's cut to that time lapse. thank you all for watching this video. I'm trying something new and seeing if it works. If you want to see more, please like the video or comment some fun minigames you want to see. The video took me a whole weekend of non-stop work, so these videos will probably come at a pretty slow pace. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you again soon.